Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. So, been really busy, uber, super duper busy. I'll post another. I got two videos waiting to be uploaded. One is Virgo and one is Taurus. But so that's what I've been up to. Had vivid dreams and then wake up and make them into art. Although I didn't do that yesterday, and Veritas Tarot said, hey, are you going to get to that painting that you dreamt about or not? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. So this is the little piece that I happen to be focusing on at the moment, but most of my attention is going to the outdoor woods. And I did just take a shower, so I cleaned everything up. Playing in the dirt, fixing odds and ends, making everything run efficiently, and just being out in the sunshine, enjoying nature, observing, listening, getting my alchemical on. Yeah, having fun. So, main reason for the video is the Devil card. The reason why it's so dangerous to put that toxicity outside of yourself and conceive it like, oh, I'm tempted by that thing. That thing is the bad thing, not what I'm tempted by. And that's the thing too, is like, is it really bad? Is it that bad? Is it going to cause you long-term damage? Or is somebody just telling you it's bad because it's not the normal pathway? That's where things get really hairy, right? Is it bad because the consequences of doing that thing are bad? Or is it bad because society does not want you standing in your own sovereignty? I don't know. That's something that's kind of, you have to look at by case basis. But thinking that the devil is outside of yourself is a really horrific step to make. And that's when things start going south in a major way. So you need to be really careful with that. And I myself particularly am leery of people who think like that. I'm leery of people who say things that, that I have no control over this devil energy. Well, you have control over yourself. And that's where the devil resides. So you need to start integrating that pattern that you have and form it into something new. Transmute it, transform it, transfer it into something else. That's the whole reason why we exist on the planet, kids. That's the one and only. That's why Scorpios are so freaking attractive, is because we get how the process works. And if you hang around long enough, you might pick up a few things. Problem is you think that we're supposed to be responsible for your toxicness. That is a big no-no, kids. That's the devil. And that's a no. No one's responsible for healing you. You're responsible for healing yourself. People can give you tools, people can give you ideas, inspiration, but you ultimately are in charge of you. There's no one priest or guru or deity that's going to come and save you. There just isn't. There never has been, and there never will be. It's an illusion. A total, complete illusion. So maybe get off the train that's keeping you stuck and, I don't know, evolve or something. Crazy concept. But in the spiritual community, I hate calling it woke because there's such a woke, and all these other terms are now becoming as good as like God or something. People have taken it and demonized it into something that was never meant to be. So there's the false light narrative where people are claiming they're woke and screaming positivity to the rooftops, like if you don't vibe high enough, or you don't think positively enough, or whatever else, you can't be in our tribe, or if you don't do it this way, you don't abide by our rules or this way of doing things, you're going to screw it up. Well, oftentimes, if you don't find your own way through it, that's when you screw it up. People can give you tidbits here and there that can help, but ultimately you have to do the work. And that's what a lot of people just, well, you're not high vibing enough. Denial is a river in Egypt, and she will drown you. She will freaking drown you every time. So maybe not. Maybe don't hop on the turtle and cross that river. Maybe find a different way. Because denial is definitely an Egypt river that drowns people. So not taking it to that extreme where you're making somebody else responsible, basically. I was gonna say responsible, but it's a serious topic here. So when we're talking about making choices, it all comes down to consequences. Is this going to be good for me? Is this going to be bad for me? Is this going to make me happy in the long run, or is this going to hurt me in the long run? Now, I have lived in this particular spot for quite a few years now, close to a decade. And my garden is just starting to really flourish. You know, you plant these little guys, and then like the next year they're like, yeah, we're coming. And then the next year they're like, yeah, we're trying. And then the year after that they're like, oh, we're catching. And so on and so forth. This year, they're like, boom, baby, we're here. Now what? And I'm like, okay, got it. You got this. Okay. This is the year I hand it over to Mother. And I'm like, okay, I'll do some other stuff this year. Because usually year after year I'm tending to these gardens and kind of like making sure everything's okay and feeding them and weeding them and whatever else. And this year she's like, I'm good. Maybe a few spots here and there, but you can back off now. I'm like, okay, I'm backing off. And it's quite nice. It's quite lovely. So, I mean, again, it's a long-term game. It's a long game. If you're not thinking about how is this going to look, feel, and behave and be in my life in the next 5 to 10 years, probably making a wrong choice. Hey, this feels really good right now. But, like, you know, and tomorrow morning, in 5 days, in a year, this is going to be a not good thing for me. That's how you make good choices. Or positive choices or things like that. You think about that long game and you continue to make choices in that direction. Now, does that mean like having relationships is bad and negative? Not for everybody. Does that mean that you can't do this, that, and the other thing that you want? Maybe, but you can't be obsessed over it and go hog wild with it just because it feels good and you're making it an escape. Probably not such a great idea. Okay? But again, that's your choice. The devil's not making you do anything, nor is anybody else. This whole sovereignty comes with a whole slew of freedom along with responsibility. Everybody wants the freedom to make their own choices, but nobody wants to take responsibility for the consequences of their choices. So that's why we made this demonic presence outside of ourselves to put a target on, to like, you know, make a scapegoat. Scapegoat, hello. Devil. Just checking to make sure you knew. Freaking poor Capricorn. Dang, kids, you know, I'm a Scorpio stellium. Freaking Capi gets a really bad rap. You are the devil. Oh, man. But, you know, they're so level-headed. They're like, yeah, whatever. Whereas Scorpio is like, you said what? No? So, just a thought. Just an idea. Nobody's got to do anything with this. Now, if that narrative provides you support, comfort, and whatever else, that might be okay for a time being. But if you want to get on the evolutionary train and off the crazy one, you're going to have to see that force, that energy as a portal, not not a a demon to be fought. It's a companion to be welcomed and understood on a very deep, fundamental, basic bone level. It's the thing holding you up right now. And what do I mean by that? When we put anything outside of ourselves and we convince ourselves in any way, shape, or form that we are disconnected from any force or energy that's ever existed, will ever exist, yada, yada, yada. The moment we take ourselves out of that web and that pattern is the moment that spider has consumed you. Those things that you're afraid of, yep, they have total and complete control of you. Absolutely, 110%. You are being manipulated by those forces as we speak. Anything and everything you fear, whether it shows up as ignorance or hate, it still has the root of fear. Anything you fear has complete and utter control over you. So that means when you're going out in the world and you don't like something or somebody or blah, 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 for this, that, and the other reason, they have complete and total control over you. If you're afraid of the devil, it has complete and total control over you. You've already been consumed. It is too late. It is too late. And people in fear do really stupid shit. Pinky fucking swear. Again, nobody's making you or anybody else do anything. You are in complete control. That's just the way it is. That's the way it's always been. You've just been lied to and told that you have no personal sovereignty, that everybody has a right to tell you what to do with your mind, your heart, your soul, your spirit, and your body. That's the world we've created. We have total sovereignty over everybody else but ourselves. Do you see how fucking ludicrous that is? Ludicrous. Knock it off. You scared of spiders? Sit down with one and be like, okay, you gonna kill me yet? Am I dead yet? Am I dead yet? Am I dead yet? And again, it doesn't have to be like a giant tarantula. You just go in the backyard and there's thousands of spiders per square foot. Look into it. Whatever you're afraid of, start researching it. Get into your own power. Get into your own sovereignty. Whatever it is you're terrified of, research it. If you're scared of witchcraft, do it. That's what I did. I grew up Catholic. I dated some guy who had all these weird books in his house, and I was like, and I love to read. He's like, why didn't you say that? I don't want to. He's like, just trust me. It's okay. I'm like, okay. He's like, nothing bad is going to happen. I won't let that happen to you. I'm like, okay. And I took it home and I read it. I'm like, that makes so much sense. May I have another, Saya? And he did. I still have some of them. So, if you can research and read into things, it'll quench whatever thirst it is that you are experiencing right now. And I would venture that fear is there to help you become knowledgeable, to help you come into a space of safety for your own well-being. Because once you have that knowledge that not only do you not have to be in fear, but how to get yourself out of it every time you experience it, it's pretty empowering. Pretty unstoppable at that point. So whatever you're scared of, look into it. See what it takes to understand it, deal with it, overcome it, and then knock that one off your list and choose another one. What are you afraid of? What demons are you conquering today? What demons have you said? Darling, I know you're upset. But let us sit together and have a moment. If you bring your calm to anything, calm will definitely be present in that situation. Rather than taking everybody else's frequency, energy, vibration, just start producing your own. Feel the fear, no doubt. Sometimes it'll keep you alive, but the majority of the time, it's all up here because somebody told you that's what was going to happen, or that's what's supposed to happen, or blah, 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 blah. A lot of times it is irrational. Not 100% of the time, but a lot of the times. And if you develop that self-trust enough, you can start taking care of things that need to be taken care of without a second thought. Okay, so Pluto's about to go back into Capricorn. Let's meditate on that for until, what is it, October? September? I don't remember. October or September, Pluto goes back into Aquarius for 20 years. So, one last round, kids. Face that devil, whatever it is you're fearing. One last freaking go at it. Let's do this. Okay? Because there's no excuses anymore. We have too much information at our fingertips. Let's use it before they decide to take that one away. That's why I'm saying buy some books. Buy some really good, decent, solid, foundational life learning books. Gardening books. I would venture some newer science books. Not the old school, like, it's good to know what Einstein thought and what Darwin's theory was. That's okay, but we're coming into a completely different age. Maybe start buying some of those books. Because the Darwinists and the Einsteinists and whatever else do not want to evolve. They are not about evolution. They are about being stuck in a paradigm where they get their way because they have all the coins. Okay, so we're about to evolve off of that. Might want to get yourself a little bit more foundational evolutionary stuff. And hey, you know what really helps? Going outside and touching the grass really helps. Because you begin to understand that grass doesn't grow everywhere. Grass doesn't grow the best in some areas, and grass grows really well in others. Kind of depends on the environment, doesn't it? That's why people are telling you to touch grass. Not because you spend too much time indoors, but because you have no idea how nature actually works. And the professionals and the experts and whatever else seem to not know what grass is at all, if you know what I mean. So we need to start being advocates on our own behalfs, because the experts are falling off the train one by one, biting the freaking dust. Making that Queen song just rolling in the background. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so let's focus on what we got to focus on now, which is getting over that Capricornian thing, because we need to look at that particular force and energy, which is extremely powerful and transformative. And oh my lord, on the other side of that portal, oh, was life so much easier. So rather than let some dude on the screen dictate how you see the world, start to see it for yourself. Start to experience life for yourself. That's the best way to let this in. That's the best way to get down to that earthly energy. Okay? Stop deeming everything outside of yourself. Question it, absolutely. Say, hey, did you want to think about this for a second? Or hey, did you want to stop and like maybe think about a different perspective? Hey, did you want to stop demonizing everybody outside of yourself and think about what you're doing here? Because usually when you find yourself on one side of the pendulum or the other, you're going to face the same fate as your adversary because you're directly connected. That's a universal law that they left off the Hermetic Code or Hermetic laws or whatever you want to call it. There's 4 other universal laws. I might get to that later, but not today. Right now, we're going to pick something today that we're terrified of. And we're going to conquer that fear. Okay? Okay. All right. I'll see you on the other side, darling. Have a beautiful day. And until next time, keep your